Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Sacred Sisterhood podcast. Woo! Scorpio season. I absolutely love this time of year. I am a Scorpio, so I am all about death, rebirth, the dark, the woo, the mysterious. I love it. I love it. Yet so many people are experiencing like mad shadow season right now that a lot of people are feeling like they don't know what's what from which what. Like it's just people are experiencing such an intense time, and it's so important that we really connect and ground and breathe right now. You know, most people don't breathe. You know, we're barely breathing to exist. Like we're breathing at 5% of the amount that we should be breathing. So when we take a hot second to really just connect with our breath and make sure that we're breathing deeply. First off, disease cannot survive in a well-oxygenated environment, and we can easily shift dimensions and easily connect with the higher aspects of ourselves when we just breathe. Because most of us are operating from that fight, flight, freeze mode, and that's because our nervous system is all jacked and overstimulated, and we're breathing super shallow, or we're not breathing at all. How many times do you actually catch yourself not breathing? I catch myself not breathing all the time. So I'm like, whenever I think of it, I'm taking deep breaths. Just calm my body. Calm down, baby. Just relax. Be present and be centered. So today, what I want to talk about is Samhain, or the Witch's New Year. So Samhain, which some people say Samhain, but Samhain is the Irish Gaelic word for just really celebrating the final harvest. And this is what Halloween was born from. So I'm married to an Irishman, so I've really gotten into the Celtic traditions and the history. And especially since I moved to Salzburg, you know, the witch codes really activated in me. And I identify as a witch, among many other things. I don't really like to label myself too much because I find that labels can be quite limiting. But the Halloween actually originated in Ireland. It is an ancient Celtic festival, a fire festival to really celebrate that final harvest, as well as to honor the dead. Honor our ancestors. So this is where like Day of the Dead comes forth with in Mexico as well. It's really this time of year, the veil between our material world, the physical plane, and the spirit world is super thin. I mean, in general, the days that we are in now, the veil is super thin just because of all the shifts that are happening on planet Earth as we are her frequency has increased so much, humanity's frequency has increased so much that in general, it's just a lot easier for us to connect to those higher aspects of ourselves with our ancestors, with the spirits, with our passed on loved ones, just because that veil is so thin. But in specific, the veil is believed to be the thinnest on Halloween night. This is Samhain. And so in traditions, this would be a time that big bonfires were had, and these bonfires were to burn anything, anything that people didn't need anymore, as well as to just signify the death and rebirth cycle, which the death and rebirth cycle is how Mother Nature operates, right? And it's also how, as you will see in your own life, you're probably even just looking at this past year, like look at how many death and rebirth cycles that you've been through. We let something go and it makes way for something new to come in. We go through an ego death period, and then after we've cleared out that energetic muck, then all of a sudden we're getting all these downloads and we're quantum leaping and we're creating at such massive rapid rates. And then we go through another ego death. We let something go, right? We are always letting go of things that no longer serves us in order to make way for our growth, in order to make way for new higher frequencies, new fresh energy to come through. So Samhain is very much about that death and rebirth cycle because this is the final harvest. Now the fields are going to lay barren. Barren's not the right word. Fallen. I'm totally blanking. But anyways, the fields are going to lay bare. So funny how sometimes I get tripped up with the English language. So yeah, the fields are gonna lay dry, lay bare, and snow is gonna blanket them, and everything's just gonna go into stillness. And this period of stillness over winter, when the nights are long, the days are cold, this is preparing for the season to come of spring. This is a very, very powerful time for fertility, right? And as well as all the leaves that have fallen begin to compost down into the ground to provide a rich, fertile soil for new life to birth out of it come springtime, right? So Samhain is also the witch's new year. So the wheel of the year is turning on October 31st in the evening, and Samhain lasts until November 1st in the evening, and that's when witch's new year begins. So the witches honor the Celtic tradition by starting the year on November 1st because a year starts in darkness, and from darkness that's where light is born, rather than the year starting in light. You know, some people believe that the new year should be in the springtime with the solstice. But rather, in the darkness is where we really go behind the veil and do our energetic clearing and our energetic releasing and really just regenerate to prepare for another season of rebirth that is to come. And this is just a time of death, a time of letting go friendships, relationships, old ways of being, old ways of identifying, to make way, to make room for the new, right? So, and with the veil being so thin, Samhain is very much a time to honor the dead, honor the ancestors. And so the Celts, this would be a time of celebration, giving thanks to Earth for her bounty, for her final harvest. You know, we're talking all these root vegetables and canning and just preparing for the long winters, drying skins and just getting ready, winterizing their homes so that they could stay warm over the winter time, and also honoring their loved ones that have passed. So if a loved one had passed within this past year, this would be a time to really kind of do your final grieving, in a sense, giving your final goodbyes, just helping their soul pass over to the other side. And often they would have these great big feasts, with their harvest, and just really celebrating those that had passed, the ancestors, giving gratitude to their ancestors. And they would often set places at their table for deceased loved ones. And this is a time to expect a visit from loved ones that were in the spirit world, kind of more paranormal activity happens during this time of year because the veil is so thin. So our spirits can really let us know that they're here, right? Not in a creepy way. This is something to be celebrated, nothing to be feared of. Don't let Hollywood play little tricks and games in your mind. So, obviously Halloween has drastically shifted from the original traditions of Samhain, but I choose to honor Samhain. I choose to honor my ancestors and just honor Earth for her bounty and her fruitfulness, and just really give thanks at this. Give thanks always, but really to just honor the mysteriousness and magic of this time of year. With it being Scorpio new moon, with it being witches new year, Samhain, it is a very, very, this is like Scorpio heyday. We love this stuff, right? And I never was big into Halloween growing up. I never really resonated with it. But this last couple of years, as I've really gotten connected with my inner witch, it has become a very powerful week, a very powerful season, a very powerful day for me, to just really feel in such deep connection with my spirits and my ancestors and so forth. So some of the ways that you can honor Samhain at this time is you could do some vision boarding. This is Witch's New Year, right? So think about what you'd be doing on New Year's, setting your intentions. Think about what year you want to create for yourself. Who are you going to be growing into and rising into? What work are you going to be birthing into the world? What frequency do you desire to embody? And just, being really creative with your vision board and creating. With my vision board, I like to do more of like a mood board. So when I look at it, I feel into the frequency. So I put pictures up, and I don't generally put like specific things, like I want to make X amount of dollars by this date. I might have like an income goal, but for me, it's more of like just the general frequency. It's like a grid that I am growing into, that I'm rising into, that I'm creating, as well as to just really reflect on this past year of who have you been? What have you done? What birthing and death cycles have you been in? What friendships have fallen away? What new friends have been made? What difficult things have you endured and overcome? And what lessons are you still in? What abundance and blessings have you reaped? Really just reflect on that. This is a very, very, very powerful time, as well as, light a candle for your ancestors. Decorate your altar with, acorns and walnuts and just nuts that you pick up off the ground at this time of year, and some branches and twigs and, leaves and root vegetables. Put a pumpkin on your altar and put something out for your ancestors or your past loved ones. If you had a grandmother that really loved milky tea that's passed on, make her a cup of milky tea and put that on your altar, and just give your thanks to her and send your love to her and offer that to her. And like milk and honey and bread and wine and whiskey are all good things to offer to your ancestors or your past loved ones. And just be really, really creative at this time of year, and just have fun and really be in the mystery of it. Really embrace your inner witch and allow her to come out in full play and see what she wants to make. If she wants to make like a special herbal tea, or if she wants to make an elixir, or if she wants to cook up a beautiful feast, just really be creative and allow whatever you feel pulled to unfold. Maybe you want to walk in the woods and just whisper to the trees and listen to the wind, or whatever. You can have a fire to burn things that you are desiring to release, whether that be your ex's t-shirt, or you want to write a letter to someone that you're ready to let go of, and you throw that in the fire, whatever. And even just thinking about what it is that you're calling in. This is a very, very powerful time for divination to really create something new for yourself and let go of old identities. We are rapidly transforming and shifting right now, just because the frequency has changed so much on Earth, and we are ushering in a whole new way of being and a whole new way of doing on Earth, that our transformation is happening so fast. When you become aware of a limiting belief, you can transcend it like that and decide something new. You used to take like weeks, months, years to let go of certain things, and now it's just happening so quickly, especially according to how much belief you have within your own power. I need to say that, because so many people have to go, including myself, I had to go through this as well, and continue to dive deeper into the layers of this, of unraveling the cloaks and the masks that have kept us out of our fire, that have kept us doubting our greatness, doubting our power. Because reality is that we are sovereign creators of our reality, and we get to dictate and declare and reign over our realm, and decide what affects us and what doesn't, and decide what royal decrees we're unlocking in our life, and just really deciding what frequency we're keeping alive in our being, what belief systems we're keeping alive in our being, and choosing to recode it accordingly. That is our sovereign right. If you do not want these 5G frequencies that everyone's freaked out about for good reason, radiation and such, if you do not want that to affect you, say it. Say that you have sovereign power over your frequency in your energetic realm, and that any man-made electromagnetic radiation and frequencies cannot permeate through your auric field. Use your own language. I don't like to give you guys specific specific languaging around it. Use your own language because that's the most powerful thing. I do this with my food as well. I bless and release it of all toxins, all fears, all entities, all attachments, all denser energies, all entities, all cords. I bless and release all of it. And I bless it with the most highest frequencies of love and light. And my body will easily absorb and digest the nutrients that is required for my healing. And I just set an intention around it. And I believe, because I believe in my word, and I believe in the power of my word, and I believe in the spells that I cast with my word, that it is done. When I say it, it is done. Because it is. It is. When you believe in yourself and the words that you say and the actions that you do and the frequencies that you cast, it is done. So we all have to kind of go through our own initiation period of unraveling those beliefs that have kept us from really believing in how powerful we are, right? And this time of year, as it is so much about our ancestors and really honoring them, you know, for most people that are listening to this podcast, you're a healer, or you're a light worker, or you're an artist, or you're really like bringing your gifts and your magic out into the world. We all carry the witch wound. And the witch wound is that wound of the 10 million people, mostly women, who were, this is a trigger warning, trigger warning, who were raped, who were burned, who were stretched, who were tortured, who were murdered because it was believed that they were witches. And a lot of them weren't. Or they were, but it wasn't something to be feared of. It was just the patriarchal system that wanted to completely control everybody that made it a bad thing. You know, this is midwives, women that helped other women give birth, were killed. Women who had beautiful, thriving gardens were killed. Women who created beautiful pottery and beautiful art were killed because only a witch who's practicing sorcery could create such, according to the patriarchal system. Women who were elderly were killed. Women who were widows were killed. People with disabilities were killed. People that worked with herbs were killed. People that had intuitive knowings, who had visions, who had premonitions, were killed. People that were healers, that worked with animals, that helped heal people, were killed. There was between 9 and 10 million people over the course of probably 800, 900 years that were killed. And so we carry that within us. We hold a lot of fear that it is not safe for us to be in our magic, that it's not safe for us to be healers, that it's not safe for us to be seen, to be witnessed, to be held, to be heard. It's not safe. It's not safe for us to write beautiful content and put it out there. It's not safe for us to paint the most beautiful painting from our heart and put it out there. We hold that within us. And so we all have to go through the initiatory period of unraveling that conditioning and releasing that fear and really stepping into our magic, our greatness, our brilliance, our power. Yet, when we are playing small and we don't allow ourselves to shine our light, we hold back on bringing our work out into the world, or we're doubting if we're good enough, we're doing a disservice. And we're not just doing a disservice to like current humanity who so desperately needs healing and beautiful art and beautiful music right now. We're doing a disservice to our ancestors, to the women and the men that we were before this lifetime, who didn't feel safe to fully be who they truly were, who had to hide their mystery, their magic from their lover, from their sister, from their best friend, because there was so much betrayal that you couldn't trust anyone. How many women in that time were thrown over to authorities by their own people that they healed, or their family, or their friends, or their lovers? So we carry that within us, and it's up to us to do the work to let go of that. I mean, it's always going to be a part of us, but it's up to us to not allow that to dim the work and the light that we're here to bring into this world now. They gave our lives so that we could now live in a lifetime where it is safe for us to say, I am a witch. Where it is safe for us to say, I am a healer. Where it is safe for us to sell our artwork, our poetry, our books, whatever our creations is, it is safe for us to do that now. And it is a disservice and a dishonor when we don't, when we play small, when we let that fear rule our lives, when we feel like we're not good enough and we don't take the action steps and do the work behind the veil to clear up that distortion. Because reality is you are so powerful beyond measure. You don't even know how powerful you are yet. And the more you tap into that, the more you trust in that, the louder and wilder and hotter that power gets. It continues to grow. It's like feeding a fire. So I encourage you, in this beautiful, mysterious time where we're walking along with our ancestors and we're honoring the death and rebirth cycle, and we're giving thanks to Mother Earth for her harvest, and we're preparing for the descent into darkness, the descent into winter, to walk into your own inner fire, to allow that inner fire to grow, to no longer give your power to that pain and that fear that you've been carrying, but rather to honor those who came before you and to bring your work out into the world. And if you need support, I can help you with this. This is what I do. I help healers, I help light workers, I help artists, I help women really stand in their power and believe in what they're here to do and create that like really inner mastery over their energetic realm, over their confidence, over their power, over their talent, to create that inner reality of feminine magnetism so that they can easily create whatever it is that they desire in this world. I walk with them through the fires of initiation to let go of that self-doubt, to quiet that little voice in the back of their head that has been screaming at them saying, no, you're not good enough. But you are. You just have to remember who you are, because you are carrying so much medicine in you, so many codes within you, so much wisdom within you. You carry it all within you. You just have to get quiet and let go of the masks and the cloaks and the veils that are keeping us from seeing and feeling our greatness. Walk into your inner fire and allow it to expand and radiate out. I am wishing you the most magical, mysterious Samhain. I am wishing you the most abundant and expansive new year. This is going to be an incredible year for all of us. Transformative growth beyond what we can even imagine right now in all areas. This is us really rising into our greatness, into our power, merging with our higher minds. Our DNA is activating. We're becoming ascension ninjas, mastering our energy. And I also wanted to let you know that I am currently offering a 6-week coaching package called Ascension Ninjas, 5th Dimensional Mastery. And what this is going to do is it's going to help support you in collapsing timelines, clearing distortions, and creating a new reality, birthing a new reality by learning how to work in the 5th dimensional field, energetic field of laying a new grid of being for yourself, laying a new grid of frequencies for you to rise into. Coaching starts beginning of December, and I am off to Sri Lanka on Sunday for 2 weeks with my husband. We're finally going on our honeymoon 3 months after our wedding. And so when I get back in the middle of November, I'm actually going on a 3-day ayahuasca plant medicine ceremony. So come the last week of November, I will be hopping on calls with women that are interested in this 6-week Ascension Ninja 5D Reality Mastery coaching container. So if you'd like more information, just reach out and we can set up a time for us to talk at the end of November. What the 6-week coaching container of learning how to become an Ascension Ninja, what it would look like for you, and you would be quantum leaping into 2020. If you enjoyed this episode, please, it would mean so much to me if you could leave a review or a rating just to help get the show out to other sisters that are like you. And if you're not already in the Facebook group, The Sacred She Pack, I encourage you to join. It is a beautiful community of other sisters that are awakening and on their healing and spiritual journeys like yourself. www.facebook.com/groups/Sacred She Pack. And of course, you can find me on Instagram, Mary J Coaching, and on Facebook, Mary Wright, WRIGHT is my personal profile. Don't hesitate to send me a friend request, as well as you can find me, my business page on Facebook is under Mary Enns, ENNS. I'm sending you so much love. This is such a profound time, such a magical time, such a mysterious time. Embrace it. Embrace this time.